Welcome back, everyone, to another recap and review of House of the Dragons. We're on episode 2. I don't think actually I ever got the name of this episode. You know, they kind of like
Rhaenyra the Cruel.
ah, not bad,
Fitting
but
name.
not as good as
She
the first. Well,
literally
she didn't do anything.
decapitated a kid.
She didn't do anything. That was blood.
That was the blood.
Which I mean, episode starts out with them like the aftermath and everything, and then they say Laris says they found someone, and I was kind of surprised that they got found. I guess they definitely went through the tunnels. I'm assuming they probably got found like in the at the gates or like of the
Well, yeah,
city.
Laris comes in later in the council meeting, but starts off with Aegon just absolutely destroying Viserys's Lego village.
Yeah, which I saw the actor Constantine or whatever said
Patty
Patty
Constantine.
Constantine was just like he's like Viserys looking down as Aegon rips apart his Lego set. I was like,
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
I mean he
He
spent
spent the whole season building that thing.
literally till his dying days. He was putting together that village, and one incident happens to
Yeah,
Aegon.
it was like
He
Charlie in the
takes a
Chocolate Factory.
sword
Yeah.
and just wails at it.
It was like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, where like he's getting those little like messed up like toothpaste caps to build like his like perfect Willy Wonka chocolate factory, and then finally gets it, and it's all ruined.
Yeah. But
And
yeah, Aegon obviously loses his mind at the beginning of the episode. I think he's screaming like the villain, monster villain, and then like I declare war, like something
yeah,
on
yeah,
those lines. But
he's like that bastard bitch or whatever.
yeah, his
And
boys obviously close the door because he's throwing a fit. But
oh yeah, that was pretty funny. They're like, oh, not everyone needs to see this.
yeah, I declare war. I declare war, and they're like, ah, shit, hold on.
Let's close these doors. I did feel bad as like they were like quartering all like the people that worked in like the Red Keep, and you see the one like the chimney sweeper just get like tripped or whatever, and like all the ashes just get dumped everywhere. I was like, I understand like he just got killed, but maybe we don't need to like have all like be
This
this
dude
mean to
worked pretty
everyone.
damn hard cleaning up all that dust. You
Yeah,
know, make him spill it all over the courtroom floor.
but also you get like the bloody sheets in the very beginning, which were pretty. Which I think they were kind of giving it to the dog or like taking it to the dog so they could smell it and get
Hmm.
the scent of I guess the scent of Jaehaerys's head. Like I don't
Yeah.
really know.
Oh,
Like that's
yeah. I was gonna say. I think the more overwhelming smell is gonna be the blood, like rather
yeah.
than like a few fingerprints and the scent of the
But
blood and cheese.
I don't
But
think they could have imagined it had blood and cheeses like scent on it yet. So like here we're looking for the head that was cut off right here. Please go find
the
it.
dog just keeps walking to the dead kid next to it. He's like, I'm pretty sure he was
Found it.
sleeping here, guys.
There's a body here. What else do you want me to
Yeah.
find?
Can you guys seriously not see him? He's right there.
Oh
But
man.
yeah. After obviously the mayhem, I think you have Otto and Allison.
And I think first we get Aemond in his
Eamon,
chamber.
Eamon, yeah, he goes through and finds like he was like the coins he had left on the table were missing, right?
Yeah, and then he finds one underneath the table, and like it kind of looks like he like looks at like one of the doors. I don't know if he sees something or if he just like looks back and realizes the coins are missing. But I've heard because like we get the one shot of him like putting up the coin over his like good eye.
There's the
Uh,
foreshadowing.
yeah, foreshadowing of apparently like the coin over an eye is a very bad omen, basically like meaning that character's gonna die soon.
Yeah, what's it's like I can't think of the legend or the religion like what the guy's name is, but it's coins for the boat, like the guy
Yeah,
that rows you
yeah,
through the underworld.
yeah. To pay for the passing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
apparently that's like a bad omen.
Mhm.
I guess we'll see if his only good eye. I
Yeah,
was
but
at first I wasn't sure if he was like looking at that and maybe like Team Black has like different gold coins that they're using, and maybe he recognized that like it might have been one of the ones that Damon gave
that
to
yeah,
Blood and
it was
Cheese
the
and was
black
like,
currency, not the
yeah,
green currency.
that's kind of what I was thinking possibly because like that's really the only reason why he would like be all that worried about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think also in that he kind of realizes like, hey, I was probably the target. There was a reason why these guys were in this room,
Yeah, like they
and
started in my room
yeah.
and I was curled up in a fetal position
Which
at the
like
time.
at that point, like why couldn't they just like wait there for him to get
um,
back a little bit? Like they could have just hung out.
I mean, you're in a really high stakes situation. You kind of probably want to be in and out, like,
Yeah, I guess.
but like, no. To your point, I understand. If you like this, it kind of all goes back to what Damon truly said to the guys. Like, if they can't find Aemon, what do you want us to do? And like, it's kind of seeming like he told him like get his son for his
Yeah,
son, like
son. Yeah,
kill. Like I want one of
yeah,
their kids dead
yeah,
to replace ours. So
and
like
yeah,
in that mindset, I think they're in Aemon's room. They don't see him for the time, and they're like, all right, like fuck it, let's go for Aemon's kid now. Like it's kind of we want to be out of here soon. We're in
yeah.
the house of the beast, the king's
Yep.
house. Yeah, I mean they get to that later. What Damon actually said. But
We what he says he said.
yeah,
We will
right.
never. I don't think we'll ever see like that actually like what happened at the end of
No,
that conversation.
they're not gonna cut back to it and like show him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ever gonna admit to it either.
No, no, never. Yeah. But then I mean like we get like the little part where like Otto reassures Alicent that like the killer will be found, and it seems like this is kind of like when he first like starts going with the idea of like, hey, no, it's bad, but like what if we flip this the other way?
Yeah, like
And he
this
mentions
could
that
work out in our favor.
he mentioned that in the small council meeting, and like some like because they're like we need the because I think it's like when they get like when they find out they have blood, they're like, oh, like let's interview him just to make sure. But like he's like, either way, we're gonna say it's Rhaenyra. Either
Well,
way,
yeah, I don't know
either
if
way,
they
we're gonna say
even.
this.
I don't know if they even like had it set up like that yet. Like I think they're still talking like we'll find the guy who did this, and Aegon was like, we know who did this, and then the guy was like, we don't like the king has many enemies,
Yeah,
and then Otto was like, well, no matter who did this, I
yeah,
think we use this
yeah.
as
But I thought it was kind yeah, like it was kind of like yeah, no matter who, like we should interview him, but like we're gonna say it's her.
yeah.
And yeah, but like you get Aegon like saying like the bastard bitch and all that, like that stuff.
She's laughing at me. She's
Yeah,
fucking laughing at me. And
she's
chucks his
across the
drink into the
bay.
pillar.
But yeah, he was getting pissed, and like everyone was getting uneasy, and I mean rightfully so, because at any point you're like kind of wondering like, is he gonna just point the finger at me, and be like, oh, you did it, kill him.
Well,
Like I
yeah. I
still
mean, the
really
one
don't
guy
get
was
why like
like,
Sir Criston Cole was not like given more punishment in this moment, and
well,
like
when he
yelled at.
admitted that he was just in bed when it happened.
Yeah, but like even still like he's the head of the Kingsguard. Like why is he not appointed someone to guard like Helena's door in like that room?
Yeah, which again, I think he gets called out for later on in the
Yeah,
episode.
like I'm surprised it didn't happen then.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, I agree.
he only gets called out I think by like Sir Auric like later on.
Yeah, and it doesn't make much sense that the like Sir Auric was guarding or was with the king.
Yeah. So like
Criston
his
Cole is
yeah.
the king, the head of the king guard is set to his mom, who was like I forget the term of it, but like former
Uh
queen, no
Queen
longer
Mother.
like mother of the king,
Queen Mother.
queen mother. But like, how the fuck is the actual queen have
Yeah.
nobody
Well yeah, like,
other
I'm
than
fine
like
with like
a tiny little
yeah.
handmaiden?
I'm fine with like Criston Cole being like Alicent's like guard, but then like there should be someone at least on Helena.
Yeah, I mean, like the king. I kind of don't agree. The king should have the number one, and then number two should be the queen, who's gonna be with the young
Yeah, I
kids.
mean, I do. I'm saying I do agree, but like at the same time, even if that wasn't the case, as long as she had someone, I think it would have been better than like what we got.
Right. Obviously, yeah. But
But I mean, also, I don't think Kristen. I know he is the top guy, but I don't think he actually is the top guy.
we mean fighter.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
apparently in the books, he's nasty, but I mean, it's more
Yeah.
just I hate him as a. Not I don't
Yeah.
like the
He's
actor
just
is fine. Actor's doing a great job. I just hate the character.
yeah.
So
As
I don't
a
want to give him like
personality wise,
I don't want to give him
I
any
hate him.
praise of being a good
But
fighter.
yeah, I saw like a tier list. The dude is a top
Yeah,
tier fighter.
well, yeah, but that's in the books. We haven't.
You're right.
It's kind of hard to claim that.
But yeah. So they go to the small council meeting. We see like obviously the discussion of like we know who did it.
Yeah.
It could be anybody, and then it's like, yeah, like we said, no matter who it is, we should
Yeah.
still blame her because that'll
Yeah.
get us a lot more
Yeah.
support. And then
We get
and
Otto
I think in
bringing up
this,
the idea of the funeral.
yeah, I was just gonna say in the same meeting he says like let's throw a parade and like put your fucking dead kid on top of a coffin, dead center,
Yeah.
and like this again, this is another moment of Aegon just like being relatable and like almost like being like being relatable, be having like a sensible head, be like, no, like I
Yeah.
am not parading my dead son across the town.
Yeah, what's
Right?
I
And
get both like I get both sides. I get him not
yeah,
wanting to do it, and
and
I
it
get like that
worked.
it would work. I think they could have done it differently. Like they maybe didn't need to parade him. They could have just like held more of like a ceremony that was
Yeah.
bigger.
But
But
like again, like it like Otto's right like it was the right move. It
Yeah.
was the smart move, but like no person, like no one isn't reacting the way Aegon is. Like, dude, no, like I do
Yeah.
not want to do this.
I
I
was
just lost my son.
yeah. I was like partially kind of like I mean obviously he's grieving his son, but like it seemed like he was more upset about the fact he's like, oh, I lost my heir, I lost my legacy. It's like it's your son. I like it's I kind of wonder like would he have reacted similarly if it
If
was
it's the daughter,
yeah. And I feel like he might not have. I mean obviously he would have been
no, I don't think
upset,
he
but I
freaks
don't
out
think
as
he
much.
yeah. And it's just like it's just so much how much he clings on to like that idea of like his heir being gone.
But like he wants to do right and like prep the like he was doing like he obviously was showing favoritism towards the son, but like that's kind of like a king always will do
Yeah.
that.
No, I know.
Like every king is gonna like their firstborn son is gonna
Yeah.
be the one they have the
Yeah.
most attention to. They
Yeah.
drill into the most, and like
Like I
obviously, as sad as it is, be the saddest to
yeah.
see get killed.
Like I could be wrong, but I thought I remember like the first words out of his mouth were like I lost my heir, I lost my legacy, I lost my son. Like it wasn't like oh I lost my son. It started out as like
Yeah,
the which I maybe I could be remembering that incorrectly, but Alicent going to tell Helena that they have to go and do that and sit
right. The
behind the
parade thing.
which Helena does not want to do. And I think you got I can't remember if you said this last week, but when you said like the funeral shroud, I don't know if
Yeah,
because she was like, "This is for my boy," and it seems like you were right. That I don't know if it just ended up being his funeral shroud, or that she was just kind of always like making that, kind of knowing in the back of her mind with her visions it was going to happen.
yeah. Like I said, we see her making it while she also mentions the being afraid of the rats. So like you
Yeah,
can kind of assume like she
put two
had
and two
this
together.
weird
Yeah,
vision, and
yeah,
like whether she knew she was knitting like her son's
yeah,
like she I don't know if she knew completely that her son was gonna die, but like that could just be like she went to start knitting and it ended
yeah.
up
Yeah, that's a good.
subconsciously
Yeah,
being that.
yeah, that's a good point. And like it seems like we're never gonna really fully know how much she actually sees in her little visions or like things.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like her drawings, like maybe she get like she draws what she sees, but like clearly it's not like that vivid of a like memory. It's not like a that's a Raven like kind of flashback
Well,
where
no,
like
yeah,
she's
she always says it in like a riddle.
yeah. It's almost like she just like gets a riddle given to her in her mind and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But that like I
And
mean I
again, I think to your point too, I think you said this last week. Like it still doesn't seem like Aegon is like has caught on to like what
no
she
one has,
said.
not a single
But
person
like
has.
she only said it to Aegon, so
Well,
like the
and the handmaid,
prediction went to Aegon.
but like, I mean like
Like
she like no one's caught on to like the shit she said in the past either. Like the beast
right,
beneath the boards, all that. Like no one's caught on to her being a dreamer at all.
but I thought like this one could be the one to do it, and like I guess Aegon had nothing to say to her. Had not like we might have like that like it might click it for him later, but I like I said I
Yeah,
don't think it will. Like
it's also like,
we might go through this whole thing
it's in
and
the
no one
moment.
catches on.
Yeah, I mean I don't think anyone will, but it also could just be in the moment he doesn't catch on. But I
That's what I'm
see what you
saying.
mean.
Like it might be a later thing where like someone brings up the
Yeah,
rats and he's like, wait, didn't she say
yeah.
something about being afraid of rats? But
He's like, oh, like we need new rat catchers. He's like, wait, rat catchers? Oh yeah, she said rats.
yeah, well, like I said, they found out as a rat catcher. I thought like
Yeah,
that could have been the moment he did it.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like maybe when they're talking about like getting new rat catchers is when it clicks for him. He's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was a rat catcher.
we still gotta hire new rat catchers. Fuck.
You're all murderers. It would be kind of funny if like
um,
next episode we just see a bunch of rats like just running rampant because they don't have
that's
anyone
the
to catch
thing.
them.
Yeah, it just
And
gets
then
even worse. It's just rats
yeah,
all
and
over
then
the place now.
Helena's really scared. And he's like, oh, this is why she was scared. She was afraid of the rats coming and running amok. But like I said,
Uh,
Helena wants nothing to do with that, and Alicent. It seemed like the whole episode, Alicent doesn't really seem like a good mother. She's just not comforting at all, and she's just like,
yeah.
no, we gotta do it. It's our duty. I was like, you could have been a little bit nicer and kind of easier way. And then even like,
Yeah,
so the
good.
funeral starts, and like when they're like riding, like Helena, it seems like she looks like Alicent's like looking at her, and Helena almost looks back to get like comfort, and Alicent just turns away. It's like that. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Comfort your daughter in that moment. You're just
Yeah, I mean, like she
ignoring
was
her.
ballistic in the beginning of the episode, like oh, like what she did to my daughter.
Yeah,
But then, like when she's with them, there's like even when she told her about the funeral, like thing that they're
yeah,
doing,
that's what I
they
mean.
said like she stood on the opposite end of the
Yeah,
room, like never really came close to her to talk to her about it. Like it's just all doesn't feel
yeah.
like comforting
Like
ever.
it was almost like the way like Otto would have told her to do it. It wasn't at all like as a
Yeah, like
motherly thing.
you have a duty.
Yeah.
It's our duty. Like it's
But then I
it
mean
sucks.
when the funeral starts, I mean the whole time I thought that head was gonna fall off. I thought
Oh
that
my
head was
dude,
going flying.
I
I
don't think
was
the head or like when they got caught in the when the wheel got stuck and they're like
Yeah.
jerking. I'm like, is the kid gonna flop off? Like, I was,
I thought the head was gonna flop off, and I heard
oh
someone
god,
else mention like bring up that like it just gave remnant like thoughts of like coffin flop from Corncob TV.
yeah.
Just this thing's going down. And like that, just like clearly that like shook Helena up, which I don't think after this point, I don't think Helena's gonna be normal. Well, not usually ever normal, but I think she's gonna be off the walls the rest of the show. She's
Yeah.
not going back to being normal.
I'm not sure. I think it was happened before the actual funeral, but we do see blood in his
Oh yeah,
like jail cell, and
what a snitch.
Laris. It's Laris, right?
Yeah,
That's the dude's name. Laris comes up to him immediately after seeing Laris. He opens up the torture kit, and he immediately goes, "Damon, pay me." It was all
yeah.
Damon. There's another person. There's a rat catcher. I don't know his name.
I like he could have just like I was thinking about this. It would have been so funny if in that moment he lies and says, "Oh yeah, it was the Lannisters. Lannisters paid me." Or like just like gave up someone that was on like the high council and just be, oh yeah, Otto told me to do it. He said it'd be good for
I was just gonna say,
it would be a
Otto
good
made me do
idea.
it. But
Yeah, then I mean we get Aegon. I'm assuming I don't know if he killed him in that first whack, but that also was kind of like a cool little like quote where he's like, oh, like, you're not gonna hurt me now. He's like, I'm not, but I can't speak for our grace, and he just comes in with like
yeah,
some sort of like
and he
scepter
comes in
and
with a
just
badass just
whack.
with a club. That was a sweet scene. So yeah, after that like short little scene of the jail cell, obviously, yeah. But as soon as he hits him, it cuts to the next scene. And I think I think after that it goes to Helena and Allison at
No,
like the
no, because
funeral.
that apparently I think that was right before the funeral.
Yeah.
And then after the funeral, we go to Team Black when Rhaenyra finds out that she was accused of it.
Yeah, the news gets back to her
Yeah.
that they're saying like
sending
Rhaenyra the
ravens out and
cruel.
stuff.
Look
Yeah.
at what Rhaenyra did through the whole funeral
Yeah.
spectrum.
Which obviously she's
And
mystified about it.
yeah, like after losing a son, you think I would do the same thing to Helena of all people,
Yeah.
like an innocent
Her sister.
girl. Yeah, technically her sister, her half sister. Which like that's true too. Like Helena's the most innocent one out of all of them.
Yeah.
Like it would be weird for her to attack. Like it's just. I mean,
did
obviously,
like the
it's clearly an attack back.
yeah.
But and you can't blame them for being like this has to be an order from Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Well,
like,
they don't realize that like Rhaenyra said like, oh, like I want Aemon, and then Daemon just kind of went off on his own thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny as like they're like talking about that, and then like she sits down, she's like looking around the room for like like at Rhaenys and stuff like that, and then, like she looks
Damon's
at Daemon.
doing an
Like,
awful job of hiding.
Well, she looks at like it looks like she like looks at Damon as like just for him to be like, yeah, I don't know why anyone would think you did it. Like we gotta find this person, and he just like looks with like a big shit-eating grin. It's like she's like, oh, you clearly were the one that did this. Like,
Yeah,
why are you
I
having
think
fun in this?
Rhaenys catches it first. Like
Yeah.
they're talking about we could never have done this. Like I would have never given that order. And Rhaenys looks at Daemon. He's like, and then,
He was like smiling the whole time. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was me.
The
Killed
scene
that
with
kid.
Rhaenyra though is so funny because she like has a normal face to her, and then she like you just looking at her, you can tell he's looking at Daemon, and she's like you can tell her face drops like, oh, he did something.
Yeah, because like he's never quiet during these meetings, so she's like looking at him like, all right, when are you gonna say like, yeah, like this is bullshit, like we gotta go like tell them that like it's not true, and then like he just doesn't say anything, it smiles, and she's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And then we get their little fight, which I mean that was pretty good. I am with like her being, I can't trust you. I thought I took it as a challenge as a child, which also makes it weird. It's like, yeah, you did kind of start this relationship as a child. That's a little strange. But then she's like, I have too many challenges now.
When Daemon snaps back, I was gonna say this is my only gripe with the whole scene was like she's accusing him. I think she accused him of like you're doing this to like usurp me almost.
Yeah.
She's like saying like
yeah, like you're still getting
what
like,
you didn't get or something along those lines, and he like smacks a glass and then goes back down and smacks like the figs off, like a bowl of figs off, and I'm like, it looks so weird. It's like poof poof, like instead of do one swoop and then get up, like it was just funny the double action swipe.
Yeah,
of it. Like it looked corny kind of.
It would have been better if you did like one swipe and like a pound or something.
Yeah, but like took the time, like it just looked so weird.
That was
but,
like, I mean,
that conversation was cool. Like I said, the whole like seeing their chemistry and like their dynamic and like the whole like I can't trust you anymore. And then when it goes when they start talking about Viserys, and he's like he was weak, like my brother was weak. He was that like, and she was like he never trusted, or he's just something like he was afraid of me. And he's like, he wasn't afraid of you. He could never trust you.
Yeah,
Like he wanted you by his side, but he
yeah.
couldn't trust you.
I think that's kind of when she says like the thing about like I took it as a challenge as a child. But then like we get him being like, oh, like I was the one that put the crown in your head. But it's like, yeah, you
Hmm.
did these things, but you're doing so many actions that make it seem like you don't care.
Yeah, but you still aren't following me.
Well, it's like I still like I think he does like he isn't trying to like take her like her throne or whatever. I think he just is very impulsive and wants to act.
Hmm.
But then like, I mean, he leaves and he just cold shoulders the shit out of his daughter.
Yeah.
Bailey's like father, and he's like, what's up? Just walks right by, which I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
that was weird. But like, I guess in the heat of a fight, what's he really gonna say
yeah.
to her?
Yeah, I guess, but like we that's when like it's also like brought to my attention like we haven't seen them interact like at all since her mother's death, which I like
No.
before like she died, he was really close with that daughter because she was the only one that had a dragon out of the two, and was like
Yeah.
just teaching him a bunch of shit, had like was like helping her like with like the book she was reading and stuff like that, and then since then just nothing.
Yeah, we really haven't seen or David react to any of his kids or interact with any of his kids.
But then I mean like after when he leaves and she goes in, really all we get out of that is the fact that Rhaenyra wants her to go with Moondancer and go kind of patrol King's Landing and make sure they don't do anything.
Yeah, which again is funny because I think the first scene we get of them when like obviously that whole she's reacting to the news,
Yeah.
Jace says like I
Yep.
should like let me go and like patrol them, and she immediately shuts it
Yeah.
down. Obviously because last time she sent her kids out to do anything, Luke ended up
Yeah.
dying.
I mean that
But
he's
it's
also
kind of was
he's
funny like gave a hard no to
yeah.
Jace and then goes, "Hey Bela, like I kind of need you to do
Yeah,
this."
but he's
And
way
like
more important than she is. He's technically the heir to the throne and
yeah,
stuff like
absolutely.
that. But it is
But
kind of like it is
she's
kind of
like
messed up,
not
really. Like,
technically she's not technically her kid, so it was
yeah,
just funny being like, I'm not sending my kid to do that. Like
yeah,
Damon, your kid with your dead
yeah.
wife, like we'll send her to do that.
No one cares about this kid anymore. Just
Yeah,
go.
she has nothing going for it other than being betrothed to Jace.
Yeah, which we get that scene with those two, and she goes, "I'll talk about my uncle instead of talking about your father," and then asks him about Harbin Strong. So it seems like
Which
he
I
like
like that though because it was the first time he like talked fondly of him and
yeah,
didn't like shut down the conversation.
yeah. Well, because I think they both like because I think he knows
She didn't
like
come
like
at it
he
negatively.
he knows like he can't like admit any possibility of like that being true to anyone but like their closest people because otherwise they could take it and like spin it. But I think
Hmm.
he's kind of like because like they're betrothed and he's kind of like oh yeah like I can be honest with you like I don't really know who my father is but I kind of see and understand why people think it's Harwin Strong.
Hmm.
And I remember saying I thought that Laenor was gonna be back in this episode but I was wrong. It was Adam. Just pointing that
Yeah,
out.
I saw something too like with the like we saw I mean fast forward a little bit, but like when we see Adam like pulling like clams or whatever out of the
Yeah,
mud and you see sea smoke flying
yeah,
above him, they said like if he is to claim sea smoke, like we're like it's kind of like what we're assuming like with like that interaction.
yeah.
If he goes on to claim sea smoke, that has to mean that Laenor died when he was away.
Yeah, well that's kind of like I thought it was Laenor at first 'cause I thought he was just like off where he was and just saw sea smoke flying around. But like
Mm-hmm.
that yeah, like kind of like to your point, like it kind of means Laenor must have died, which is pretty quick for him to have died because like, he didn't go
Yeah,
there all that
especially because he
long
like
ago.
went somewhere like peaceful to be like
Yeah,
with his boyfriend. Like I don't like it. We're just not going to address that much at all, or
yeah,
I don't know if they're ever going to show what happened to
yeah,
him. But
and like that also reinforces the idea that like him and his brother Alan are Corlys's sons because otherwise they
yeah,
wouldn't be able to be dragon riders.
yeah, they have to have at least somewhat of Valerian blood.
Yeah,
But I'm curious too, like when you claim a dragon, don't you have to like speak in Valerian to him?
that I'm not sure. There might be like a couple like
Because we
code
when we
phrases or
first
code
see
words.
I think when we first see Aemon claim Vagar, he is like speaks Valerian to them or High
Yeah,
Valerian.
I think there's like a couple like code words where it's like kind of like that like get him
Yeah,
to go.
which
But
makes me
I
curious
gotta
of like,
he
is
could
there
just talk
any
to
way
Corliss
that
probably.
Adam and them would know? Is like that the language they speak?
No,
No, right? It's like a old
only like
what?
like because like they're bastards, so they wouldn't really know.
Well, like they still live in. They
They li
still are like
they live in
living
the
in that area, right?
well,
So
I mean,
like
all Valyria is gone,
Ovalyria is gone.
so they're living around a bunch of people that are just Westerosi people.
Yeah, I
So
guess
like,
you're right.
I think like it would have to be like they get closer with Corliss and like he kind of like helps them out.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like It's like they said, they kind of act like it would be a privilege to be beside him. Like
Yeah,
I don't
but
think he's giving them that much of attention.
then like he mentions that he owes you, he owes us, which is like
Yeah,
another
no,
thing.
I'm not denying that they're the bastard
Yeah,
kids. I think you're right on that. Like that's on the money, but it's just a matter of I don't know if they spend time with him or he's acknowledged them enough to
yeah,
like teach them the old Valyrian or old
but like
like higher
I
Valyrian.
but like I wonder if with Sea Smoke's return they realize like, oh like Laenor's dead, we have a dragon, let's put someone on it, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
who could we get? Oh well, we have my two bastard kids that we could just have do it, because like right now they're probably the only options because Rhaenyra's kids
Well,
are
no.
too.
Uh, what's her name? Bela's little sister, the younger daughter.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure she still
she's
doesn't have a
still.
dragon.
Yeah, I forgot that hers was supposed to be kind of Vagar.
Yeah, that was like the whole point. Was
Yeah.
I think she was supposed to claim him, and then
I
Aemon
mean,
snuck out and
who
did
knows?
it.
Maybe he just reads a book and finds out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. Like he definitely could pull it off. Let's
That'd
see
be
where
cool.
we at now. So Damon.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
I have Criston Cole sees like goes into the kid's room and sees them like kind of taking apart Jaehaerys's
oh
bed
yeah,
set and like sees like the bloody sheets and like he just is like in the doorway staring at them doing
yeah,
all that and he
and
sees like the bloody sheet get
yeah,
pulled out and
he
like
like, clearly zones out, and like the one kid's like, oh, like if it pleases you, my lord, basically
yeah.
saying like, hey, can I get through?
And I think this whole scene was supposed to like show that he like subconsciously is blaming
Yeah.
himself for
Oh
all
yeah,
this.
and I think like we see him later take it out on Sir Auric.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he accused him like, "Where were you?" And
Yeah,
it's like, dude, that's a bold
yeah,
statement to make there.
yeah. Which well, we get to that scene right after Kristen Cole's outside of Allison's room.
Okay.
And she asked him, she's like, "Did you tell anyone?" He's like, "No. Why would like who do you take me for?" And she's like, "Someone that seeks absolution," which he clearly is. He's been seeking that almost the whole time.
Yeah,
And
which again, like that, which I would assume she's implying is like, I like you seem like the type of person that this guilt would eat you,
yeah,
and you would like confess it to
yeah.
somebody just to get it off your chest, and like
Which she's been trying to
kind of
confess it to people the whole time.
yeah,
Because
she
even
like
like
tries to say it to Otto, right?
yeah, and we forgot that like when she went to Helena to talk about the funeral, like she's like, "Did you see anything when you came there?" She's more worried about that than just like comforting her child. Was like, "Oh, did you see
Yeah.
what we were doing?" It's
And
like
Helena
your
goes, "This is
priority.
for my boy."
Yeah, but yeah, then we get Cole and Auric. And I feel so bad for Auric because he's eating after a night shift. And he's like, you gotta clean that now. He's like, that symbol's like our purity. It's like you're the least pure out of all the people, so I don't know why you're getting upset. And it's just all
Dude,
a ton
yeah,
of like deflecting, being like, oh, I hate myself for what I've done, so I'm gonna take it out on you guys.
they are like going almost out of the way to make Cole the most hateable character in the show.
Oh
Like
yeah,
he literally is like he keeps doing wrong, like he's not doing his
he's
job well at all, and immediately just like letting it out on probably his best guy for not having a clean
oh
cloak.
absolutely,
And
and
like
he's also he gets promoted for doing this stuff, which baffles
yeah,
me to no end.
that yeah, I guess that drove me nuts too. I thought again to go and jump forward a little bit, but when Aegon tells Otto he wants the hand back, or he's no longer the hand of king, I
Yeah,
was
he's gonna have an
praying
iron
that he makes it
fist.
hilarious, but like the next closest guy in the
Well,
room,
like I said, like I didn't think Laris was gonna get it. I know like it seemed as though like he like that was what he's like going for, but I almost like think he just wants chaos. So like maybe he did kind of want like a Chris and Cole type to like just like start going around doing stuff.
yeah, I think
Where
after Criston Cole. So wait, Criston Cole snaps on Sir Eric,
I loved how also like
calling
all
him
the other
out.
dudes just like walk away. They're like, well, I'm
Yeah,
not
they
involved in this.
clear
I'm
the room
leaving.
as soon as he starts yelling.
I'm
That
not
was
having him gonna
great.
yell at me for my cloak.
Yeah, my cloak might be dirty too. Like they all just head to the laundromat. But yeah, he starts snapping on Cole or Eric, kind of like I said, says like, oh, like the cloaks are a symbol of our purity, like you said, and obviously he's been the
Yeah,
least pure of anybody. But
and I think like
as
Art picks
he
up on this because like he's easy. Oh, where were you? Like
right as Eric walks away, Cole says, "Where were you when the king or when the this all happened?"
yeah,
And he goes, "I was with the king. I was doing my job. The king was
yeah,
hosting his friends. I was there with them." And he's like, "Oh, like you didn't think to stop by?" He's like, "You want me to leave the king to stop by the baby? Like what?
yeah.
Why?" And then he immediately goes, "Where were you? Why isn't there
He's
somebody
like,
with the queen?
you're
Which
the one.
would
You're
be
the one.
Cole's job to
You're
do
the
that."
one down the hall. You're just
Yeah,
getting your dick wet.
yeah, and like to his point, like Cole, whether it was Cole's responsibility to be with Helena, it's Cole's job to make sure somebody is like
Yeah,
that's his
exactly.
position
Yeah,
is
that's kind of like
appointing
yeah,
people to like
yeah,
other
yeah.
people to protect. Like that, it all does fall on
Yeah,
Cole,
because
but
like
he
if
immediately deflects it to
yeah,
Eric.
because like if you like we understand like those guys can't be up 24/7. Like they have to go to sleep at some point. So like if you're saying oh like I wasn't working the night shift that night, that's fine. That's a good excuse. But then make sure someone's guarding that door.
Yeah, I was abed. All right, well then, who was supposed to take your
Yeah,
spot? Who was like? Why still? I'm asking you. Why was nobody
yeah,
there?
and
And
I think it's
I
also
kind
like
of agree with you. Like that scene where Aegon's calling out Cole should have lasted longer, but I think Otto cut it off. Like we can't just blindly accuse
yeah,
people.
yeah,
And I was like, dude, we kind of should be right now, fucking accusing this
yeah,
guy.
because something's going on, and like it's like. Because like with like that like where he accuses Arik, like we only see like two other like Kingsguard guys. It's like how many do we have at this point? Because like
Right.
I know we don't have many, but like why is it a priority not to get more then?
I mean, that whole room was filled with them. I thought.
No, there was like two or three other ones. That's it.
I thought
There
that room
were
that
not
cleared
many.
out were it wasn't all Kingsguard.
No, it was, but there's only two or three of Kingsguard guys in there.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. Like if that's it, like why have they not focused on like recruiting more? I
Yeah.
mean, I guess
And
they don't know who they can trust, or like I don't know.
after accusing Eric, Eric snaps back saying like, "Where are you? Why wasn't somebody there?" He again goes back at Eric, blaming him, and then says, "You got to right this wrong." Did nothing wrong, but you got to right this wrong, and pretty much to sum it up, go to Dragonstone and kill Rhaenyra. And he goes, "By myself?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Just look like your
That's
twin.
Yeah, he's like, you look like this guy. You have the best chance of doing it, which he would have the best chance of doing it. And like going alone was like it was gonna work, but
I mean,
like
I was surprised at how close it worked because I think that's one of the dumbest ideas we've had so far in the show is to do that.
which another thing too that I think it was pointed out, like Sir Arik, which
Arik
one's
is
with
the bad
the
one. Arik is A for Arik is the bad one. E for Eric is the good one.
okay, so Sir Eric with that's in Dragonstone with Rhaenyra is still wearing the same
Yeah,
armor.
which I was kind of thinking that's a dumb idea, and like I mean,
Yeah,
obviously they wouldn't have thought about it like this was gonna happen, but I was like, what if he just cut his hair
yeah,
or
like I
shaved?
said,
Shaving
like
or cutting his
you
hair,
know
he
that
would have been no one would have been like, oh, that's clearly the brother.
we have a twin on the enemy side. Like, why don't we switch up our dude's attire so that that guy can't come in wearing the
Yeah,
same exact clothes as our guy? And
yeah,
like,
because like
it is
she,
like kind of guessing ahead, and like they obviously didn't think of it, but like I would switch up my if I'm branching off. I'm not having my guards wear the same
yeah,
uniform as the other guards. Like
because
that
she
seems
she
like you're
already has
set up for
other guards that
failure.
are wearing like black and red. So like like I know like those aren't Kingsguard, but like they're clearly in a different uniform. Like you couldn't have done anything differently. Maybe given them like a black cloak
Yeah,
and just be like, all right, you guys are the white cloaks, but we're just doing something different. But like it would have been funny if like Sir Eric had already cut his hair and Arik just walks up and goes, oh fuck, I'm screwed. Like this is not
yeah.
gonna
He
work
sees him.
now.
He's like, "Oh, when did you get a haircut?" We
Oh, then we get
after Jason Bayless talk, we do get
Lord
Aemond at the I guess
Pleasure,
whorehouse,
yeah, Pleasure House.
like
We
Pleasure
get
Dome.
Lord Voldemort in the Pleasure Dome, laying in fetal position. He looked just like Lord Voldemort's like
Oh,
little
dude,
tiny body in that one Harry Potter. I
and
like
why
you're a
did they
royal
let him be
family.
so thin?
Yeah, you're in the royal family. Why are you not eating?
And like he also is like they talk about him like you're the biggest threat. Like you and Vagar are the big. I
Yeah,
know Vagar plays a huge part of that, but
yeah.
like he's a well trained swordsman. Like I don't know, like looking at his body, like I feel like that dude can't hold his own in
Yeah,
a fight. Like when like swords collide, that dude does
yeah.
not have the same strength as
What's
probably
it?
90% of the people he'd be fighting.
I feel like I mean it clearly was intentional. I feel like it's kind of supposed to try to make us think that and be like, oh, he's weak. Like if he doesn't have Vagar, he's screwed.
Yeah,
Because like you said, like we've heard these things about him being a good swordsman, and we saw him like kind of like fight like Jason and
when
stuff
he
like
was
that
young.
when they're younger. But like clearly he's doing something, and like they're like at the pleasure house, they're like pouring a ton of milk of the poppy, which is like opiates. So I wonder if maybe just
Yeah,
as he's gotten older, he's just kind of gotten into like drug use and stuff like that, and maybe he's just kind of let his body go that way.
yeah.
But that was a really weird scene, as like she's almost acting like his mother.
I was gonna say I don't know
Like
if you
it's
know, he's
very
like has the same
motherly.
hair color as Allison. Like could be just trying to fill in the void of not having a mother figure that cares for him and
Yeah,
is like
it's
compassionate with him.
it's so many of these like different signs that we're just getting that Allison is a terrible mom.
Right.
And then we get like the exact opposite from like Rhaenyra, who's like playing with her kids later on, like at the castle. Like her embrace of Jace the first episode when like he comes
Right.
back.
I was just to say
Like,
when we get back when we get to Aegon crying
yep,
and
yeah,
Allison just turns away and it's like we saw Jace break down and Rhaenyra immediately runs to him and gives him a hug.
yeah, and it was like it was our probably our favorite scene in the first episode, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
this is a night and day.
yeah, it is.
But then
But
after
let's see. After that, like
we get
I have
Hugh
we go
Hammer,
to the blacksmith.
yeah,
You want to
and
take
like
that?
I think it's just like yeah, we get him like his wife is asking him like, oh, like when's this gonna stop? I guess their daughter's sick.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, like don't worry, like the king is like has assured us like it's like it'll be better soon. She's like, how long? When's that gonna take you?
Yeah.
And like I
Did
think
he
he's gonna
give you
think
a time?
he's like thinking
No.
he's like yeah he didn't, so probably can't rely on that. I think we're just gonna continue to I don't know how much we're gonna stay with that family, but I think we're gonna get a lot more throughout the season of like the blockade having a ton of effect and just like how upset the small folk are, which like when they like hang up all the rat catchers, I think we're just gonna really see like the small folk of King's Landing get really upset at Aegon and kind of turn on him.
Right. And like I said, he made promises that the blockade's gonna be done soon, so that you'll be able to get your foods and spices back. He promised the blacksmith money, and like I said, if he doesn't follow through with this, yeah, the blacksmith, that's the head dude of the blacksmith. If he
Yep.
doesn't get this money, like I said, they're not gonna be able to produce the material they need to.
Yep.
And that's like I said, he's like, dude, we're struggling right now. Like we hit every single scorpion. I think they're called scorpions, the
Yep.
big
Yep.
the big bows.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they take like 2 to 3 weeks to make every per scorpion. So
Yeah.
like,
And I'm sure like the bolts aren't easy either. Like they're
no,
just super
they're
long
massive.
rods. Yeah. So yeah, I mean we're just which is I kind of like that we're getting this kind of side of it because it's like it's obviously it's clear like oh like this war is gonna affect them probably a lot more than it will affect the families. I mean they're not gonna be directly in the fights, but like it's gonna really affect them, which we didn't really get this from Game of Thrones. Like they never really showed us
No,
like
they
how like the small folk were getting like messed with and like how to
yeah,
deal with
the
different
struggles
things.
that they're going through when
Yeah,
there's a war going on.
yeah,
And I think it was Aemon's like fake whore mommy that said something on the lines of like every time a prince loses his
yep,
temper, the small folk are the one that
yeah,
normally take the blunt end of it.
yep,
Like we are the ones that go through it. Which
yeah. Like
like
because like
Aemon losing his temper, he's like, I shouldn't have done that with Luke. I
yeah,
lost my temper, and she's like, all right, well, you started a war that all of us are starving now.
yeah,
Like
and like Aegon like getting
it messes
upset.
us up the
Yeah,
most.
like Aegon getting upset and murdering all the rat catchers when it was only one's fault. Like you
Yeah,
couldn't have tried to do some interrogating and just like figure out who it was.
yeah.
Like you could have kept Blood alive and just like brought them all up in a lineup and knowing Blood and how easily he snitched, he would have pointed the dude out right away.
Yeah, I mean, there was like 12 rat catchers. Like you're gonna tell me
Yeah,
like if you were able to assemble all of them, put them all in front of Blood and have him point
yeah,
them out. Like, yeah, I agree that he didn't have to do that. Which again, we go forward. Otto snaps on him for it.
yeah.
But after the blacksmiths, we do get Adam and Aaron discussing
Alan.
Corliss.
But yeah,
Adam and
Alan.
Alan. Wait, is
A
it
L Y
Alan or
N.
Adam?
It's well, no, it's Adam and Alan. It's not.
Oh, I thought his name was Aaron.
No, it's Alan. Alan with a
Okay.
Y.
Yeah, I wrote Aaron with a Y. Alan with a Y.
Alan, yeah, Alan's the bald guy.
Yeah, they discuss Corliss. I'm trying to remember like the.
Well,
Was this like when we got like he came back from the ship and it was like
yeah, Hogs.
Adam was like, oh yeah, I got like the soup for you.
Yeah,
And, like,
still yeah,
oh,
because Alan's like I hope you got that goat stew at home. And he's
yeah.
like, you got carrots in there, like, because
And
it's
this is
kind
when
of
we get the whole he owes us
yeah,
and it'd be an honor to like you should try to get on Corliss's
yeah,
ship. He owes us both, which these are like
yeah.
the implications that like yeah, we're
Yeah.
leaning towards that they're the bastard kids of
I think
Corliss.
Alan's like clearly like he's like, you want me to go on that ship? Do you see what I'm fixing? Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
walking into. Like I don't want to go on that.
Yeah.
But like it's like Adam's like, oh, but yeah, but like if you win and like when you win, you're gonna get so much stuff. Like we're gonna be able to get out of here. Maybe you'll get recognized as his kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we've seen different families have like their bastard actually be in like higher places, like with Jon Snow and Ramsay Snow. Like
Right.
different ones get kind of like honored.
And especially in this situation, like you're having of Valarian blood, you have this like you have this special ability where you can
could
handle
technically be
dragons.
the heir.
Like, you're not just any.
He's without an heir right now, so he could technically take the like their name and become the heir of Driftmark.
I don't know how much Renice would be a fan of that, but
yeah, that's a good point. But I mean, what other options they have? I don't have any more kids. But I mean,
Yeah.
because like one of them, I mean, it'd be a little weird, but like one of them could marry one of their kids, but that would also be an old guy marrying young child.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
But
also not
yeah,
the first
after
time it would
that
happen.
discussion, we do get that the scene that we alluded to earlier with Adam seeing sea smoke flying
Yeah.
over the beach, and you just had it kept like it was again. They're obviously hinting at it, like it's Adam.
Yeah,
They
that
see the sea
yeah,
smoke flies over top of him. He like looks at him and like
yeah, that was way
keeps
too
an
much
eye on him, see
foreshadowing.
where he
And
lands.
like he was like smiling the whole time. That was way too much foreshadowing. Did not have that
Yeah,
happen.
absolutely.
I mean, we do get Corliss and Rhaenys in bed talking about Daemon, and basically it seems like Corliss is like fine with like having a woman be in charge. He's like, yeah, like I don't like Daemon clearly doesn't. He's getting upset, but like I'm fine with it. And then Rhaenys is like, yeah, like it's like we'll all be fine as long as he comes back and he secures Harrenhal, which is kind of it seems like that's almost like everyone's idea. Like there hopefully he's going there because I really also don't want to see him like switch sides or just disappear for like months on end. But I guess
Well, like I said, we know. Yeah, like I said, we know he's going to Harrenhal.
well, that's what we
Yeah,
think. I
they.
don't think it's anything for sure because he does just kind of dip. I
Yeah,
I think we're pretty sure, but like he didn't actually say anything. But we'll see. 'Cause
and then
I don't know where else he'd go.
yeah, after that, after Adam, we get the scene of Aegon hanging all the rat catchers,
Yep.
and then you get like I said, the common folk, small folk going walking through the streets and seeing it, and they're like what happened here? And he's like, it's Aegon's order. He hung all the rat
Yeah.
catchers, and all of them are crying about their husbands, their
You
kids.
get the dog crying about cheese. Which
Yeah,
so
I
if
like
you
that
thought he was
somebody said.
upset, if you thought about it, he was upset with cheese. He's fine. He's all good.
Yeah, I like somebody said the dog got the last laugh looking up at the hanging guy.
I saw a bunch of stuff that was like take this dog's pain triple and give it to Criston Cole. But yeah, like,
After the rat catchers, we get
Otto comes into
Otto.
whatever that room
Yeah,
is.
got Otto coming in.
Comes in and just he's like what'd you like what's going on? Like Aegon's like at least I did something. Sir Criston did something and he's like what has Sir Criston done?
The slow turn is like, what did Sir Criston do?
Tells him the plan. He's like how could you be so stupid?
Mm-hmm.
I like the part where Aegon's like I'm king. He's like who do you think put you there? And I think Otto's just kind of like I regret putting him on the throne. This was a bad
Yeah.
idea.
And Aegon says, Viserys chose me. And he goes, is that what you think?
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
And I was like, oh, God.
Which like I mean the whole time it's like they're like oh like we need to get like Alice and Otter like we need to end this peacefully. It's like you could have ended it peacefully just by not putting Aegon up there. Like, I really
Yeah.
don't think Rhaenyra would have killed like Aegon and Aemon the way that
Yeah,
they
and
think
that
they.
was Otto's whole pitch, right? He's like,
Yeah,
your kids hold the biggest threat to Rhaenyra. She's gonna have to kill them, and she like as long as they didn't go against her, and once she got the
yeah,
crown, like there's not much they can do
yeah.
after that.
I think more of it was just him wanting his household to be like on the
Oh,
throne.
absolutely. And he
Um,
wasn't gonna remain hand of the king with Rhaenyra.
no. Well, like at the same time, like I think he might have had he like the whole time him be had he always been on Rhaenyra's side. I think he would have
Yeah, but
at
like I
least for like a
said,
little bit.
when she was young, they Viserys kicked him out as being the hand because he was the one that was like calling her out. I think on the Daemon shit.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Remember we got the scene of
Yeah,
Otto and Alicent like crying together because Viserys kicked him out
yeah,
and like fired
yeah,
him.
yeah. You're right. I don't know.
But after Otto yelling at him, calling him an idiot, this that and the other thing, Aegon then says like Otto goes to storm out and Aegon goes like give me your hand, like give me your whatever, like the
Yeah,
hand pin,
yeah,
and he's like you can't be serious or like something like you must be joking. He's like oh no, I'm very serious and I'm
yeah.
getting a little bit of a thrill out of this.
Yeah,
Like
I think you're right. I think
that
he was
was
joking.
great.
He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm getting stimulated.
Yeah, it's actually quite stimulating.
And he's like,
I was like,
I'm
dude,
now I'm gonna have an iron fist as a hand.
yeah,
Which I
which
mean,
was
that's
a
a cool
cool line.
line.
I don't agree with it, but it was a cool.
Yeah, it's a very dumb move.
Yeah, it is.
Like
Very
you take a dude
stupid.
that has. I mean, they didn't know at that moment that idea by Criston Cole was gonna be a failure. But like, it's like this dude failed twice, and you're gonna just be like
Yeah,
promote him.
he's also banging your mom
Yeah.
and not doing his job.
I mean, like at this rate, he's gonna be king by the fourth episode.
He
He's just
just
gonna
keeps
hand him over the crown.
climbing
He's like,
up.
yeah, you're doing good. You take the crown. You'll figure this
Honestly, I
out.
don't even want to do this anymore. Cole, do you want to be the king?
You're already banging my mom, the queen mother.
Yeah,
So
we still will have a Targaryen up there, or not even. No, it'd be Hightower.
one of the cooler scenes with the two brothers fighting, and I thought like, or yeah, I think we kind of skipped over the Rhaenyra talking to the White Worm,
I hate
but
like
It really
I
wasn't much of
don't
a
want to see
scene.
this girl anymore. Like, I'm glad she's going away, but like,
I was
I
gonna
have
say I
not
think she
cared
might not be
about.
going away.
I have not cared about any of the scenes that she's talking to her. Like, but like, I think so. Yeah, to a point. Like, Rhaenyra talks to her. They talk about Damon, and she realizes that Damon was gonna marry the White Worm, and she tells her like Damon's gone. He could be back in a week. He could be back never.
Yeah,
And so
but it's almost
she's
like they
like
bond
vying
on
for her
they,
freedom.
but like they bond on
She
Aemon just being an asshole.
Yeah, and the White Worm's trying to
To
she's
Damon.
trying to convince Rhaenyra to like let her be free and no longer like a captive. And she says like no, like I'm safer with you here. Like I've seen you turn sides and
Yeah,
screw me over. I'm not going to do that again. And then before the Sir Eric scene, she comes to her senses, goes over to him, says like, "Hey, I'll let you go, but you're not just going free. I'm sending you on this ship
yeah,
far away, and you can go live your life there." And we get the White Worm leaving, and she crosses paths after. So Sir Eric walks her
yeah.
out of the castle, and then she goes her own way and crosses past Sir Arik coming in, and she like
It double takes. She's
notices
like,
it, and
what?
she's like, yeah, it gives a double take, like, hold on. And then she tells the guy who's walking her, like, hold up a second. Which makes me believe that she came back
Yeah,
and warned Sir
yeah.
Eric
That's my
about, like,
thought too.
hey,
Yeah, because Sir Eric
your
just
brother's in the castle
he
right
just
now.
barges in. Like there would have been no way for him to know otherwise.
Right.
And like that's where like I kind of wonder if maybe if she's gonna stay there and just end up being like an ally for them and just kind of going around and doing like spider stuff
Kind of
and
like,
just
so
like
she,
hearing
like, proved her worthy to
yeah.
Rhaenyra, so, like, she might be able to keep her and,
And
like,
maybe she just feels like she likes Rhaenyra now and she's like yeah I'd rather go for you than the other
yeah.
team.
I just
And
don't, I
maybe
don't
just
see
becomes
her
like a
wanting to
lord
be a
like
part of it all, though.
yeah. I'm just thinking she might become like a Littlefinger kind of character.
Yeah. Like, just as, like, a
Like
holder
him
of spies.
yeah basically. Because
Like,
like she's from Pleasure House and stuff like that, so like she would have like a network of people that would tell her
would
stuff.
literally be the female
Yeah,
Littlefinger to the
yeah,
House of Dragons. But,
which would be kind of cool.
then we
Yeah,
get Sir Arik walking through the castle, kind of just like dipping through pillars, hiding. And he finally makes it to Rhaenyra's room, like locks the back door,
yeah, that
comes
was
in
a
the
smart
front.
idea.
Yeah, and Rhaenyra sees him, thinks it's Sir Eric for a while, for like a minute, and then he pulls out the sword and says, like, "I'm sorry, but I have to do this."
Yeah,
And as soon as he starts walking towards her, yet Sir Arik or Sir, I keep messing this up. As soon
Eric.
as Sir Arik starts walking towards Rhaenyra, Sir Eric busts through the door, and goes, "Brother," which is awesome.
Well, I was like, in that moment, like he was so far away, so Arik easily could have just still ran for Rhaenyra and killed her, and then fought
Yeah,
Eric. Like,
but
but
then
I mean,
obviously we get
not gonna
a
worry about that.
long duel of Sir Eric and Sir Arik. Was hard to figure out who was who.
Yeah, they
I
clearly wanted us to not know.
Yeah, I mean you have two twins fighting in the same armor.
But like,
My
they also
whole
like they kept giving him like the same injuries too, so they could be like, oh, like this guy got a knee injury, oh, but this other guy got a knee injury, so you
Did
can't
they
even
both get?
follow.
I thought only our guy got slashed in the leg.
Well, that's what I thought too, but then the one on the ground like grabs the other one by like a wound in his knee.
No, so
And,
I think our guy was on top. I was about to kill him, and then the bad Sir Arik grabbed his cut that he made on him earlier, launched him off him. So in my mind, Sir Eric died first.
no, I think Sir. No, it was also
But
pretty sure
like,
it was told inside the episode that Sir Eric won, and that's why he like asked for forgiveness.
yeah. See,
Because like, otherwise,
but
why would Sir Eric like keep it
why would
going?
he do that? I know. I was confused about that whole thing. But like when after that, I looked at it and it didn't look like the guy who won had any leg injuries.
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure in the inside the episode, Ryan Condal, the writer, said it was Sir Eric that won.
Dude on the ground has a bloody leg. Dude standing up who ends up killing himself, he doesn't. So that's what right here. If I'm looking at it,
Trying
he
to,
doesn't have a bloody leg. The guy who won, and I'm like pretty confident. Like when we see the guy who gets his leg slashed, he was like getting in the way of Rhaenyra and like defending him. I gotta look into. We gotta look into the.
I'm looking at the inside the episode now.
I thought I
Um,
heard them say the opposite.
but I'm pretty. I thought it. Because like you said, it makes more sense if Eric is the one that asked for forgiveness.
Yeah, he says your grace,
He said, "Please forgive me, Your Grace," or like, "Your Grace, please forgive me." And
your
then just
grace. She says Eric, and he says forgive me. So like I get what you're saying, but his leg's not slashed.
Because like when that happened, I thought the guy on the ground like was the one that has leg slash, but then the other one grabs like a wound on the dude's knee. So I was like, did they both get slashed? I heard
Well,
someone else.
we'll
I heard someone else somewhere else say it that Ryan Condal said that it was Sir Eric. I just think that like that makes more sense. Like him being like,
for
please
the
forgive me.
yeah, and Rhaenyra calls him Eric,
Yeah.
but she might be confused. I don't know. Like I said, we'll
I
try
mean,
to figure it out and have it for you, the result for next episode, if you guys still care.
either
But
way, I thought it was nice that like she like buried them both together. Like
yeah, you see that in like the uh
it's like the
trailer for
next.
next episode.
Was that okay? I knew I saw it somewhere.
But and then I mean, barely touch on the way the episode ends. Episode ends with Allison seeing Criston Cole. He had just been made hand of the king, and then she ends up sleeping with him anyway.
Yeah,
Like
which I love
just
how it just every episode's ending with them like fucking.
yeah, just ridiculous.
But we like we did. I mean, we already touched on it, but like right before that, we see Aegon like crying and mourning, and Allison just walks up and is like, I'm gonna go to my room and smack Kristen Cole around in the face a few
Yeah,
times." But
just brutal.
yeah, I mean,
I don't want to go into the preview for next week, so like I feel like we know stuff that like I don't want to
yeah,
spoil.
that I remember like last week I was like, oh yeah, like, the next episode looks sick, and I now realized that it was a trailer for the rest of the season, not just the second
Yeah,
episode. So
which
it's
we
kind
might
of
get stumped for again.
yeah,
So and we end it there. I love this episode. It got a lot more emotion. Again, a lot more Game of Thronesy
yeah.
vibes.
I would put it
Ended
right
with an
below the
awesome
first one,
fight.
but pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, like both endings have been sick. You had the Jaehaerys blood and cheese scene, and the ending this episode with Sir Eric and Sir Arik fight was awesome
Yeah.
too. But yeah, that is episode 2, season 2 of House of Dragons. We'll be back next week to break down episode 3 with you guys.
Talk to you
All
later.
right. See you later.